Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape From Tarkov video. Today I am covering the latest patch notes, patch 14.1, and there are some doozies in here. Don't want to say it, but it looks like the first batch of microtransactions for Escape From Tarkov. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, so I present to you the patch notes for patch 0.14.1, starting from this top. We present the Escape From Tarkov patch notes, list of changes. Rework the damage through layers of armor. Now when each layer is penetrated, the bullet loses some penetration power and damage depending on the characteristics of the penetrated armor. So the characteristics of armor can be something like, there's like aramid armor, and then there's like steel plates and titan and all this other stuff. So depending on the armor, it will reduce the damage of the following layers going on, and then also the penetration. So some armors will actually have better stoppage power than other armors. So it's just going to be a bit of testing and we'll figure it out, but that's what it means by this. Fixed an issue with missing blunt damage when hitting a ballistic plate. So I feel like when I've been shooting some plates, sometimes it'll just do one damage to the plate, but not actually do any other damage to the person. At most, it might do one damage to the actual person in the chest. So maybe it'll increase the amount of damage taken. Have to wait and see. Testing will be needed. Blunt damage now decreases when there is soft armor behind the unpenetrated component. So this means if there's a plate with a soft armor behind it, it will also stop some of that damage using the soft armor. But I feel like there is soft armor behind every plate. I might be wrong with some of that, but I feel like nearly every chest plate has a soft armor behind it. But sure, it'll be reduced by the soft armor behind it. Adjusted the head colliders for eyes and ears. So that's when you get head eyes or head ears. So what it means by that is how much of the head and adjustment of up and down of what actual part of the head is the ears and eyes. Remove the possibility for bullets to pierce through a character's thorax and stomach. So the idea behind that is if you were shooting from an angle, you'll be able to go through someone's thorax and stomach, or stomach and thorax. So the ability to shoot through both. It happens a lot when you shoot someone in the arms. You'll go through their arms into their chest, but obviously this is saying that you can't shoot through someone's stomach to thorax or thorax to stomach. Added the fits existing text to the ballistic plate inspector to display which armors the plates fit to. So this will help when you are trying to take all those inner plates out and figure out which armors will go into which armors in your stash. So you know how it's usually got like, say a pistol grip that you want to put on a gun, and you highlight the little arrow thing in the, when you go to inspect, and it shows you all the guns that you can put it on. It'll be the same now with the armors showing which plates go into which armor. Added the ability to fit the granite BR4 and BR5 plates into the Wartech TV110 and the TV115 plate carriers. Cool. Adjusted the recoil parameters for pistols, shotguns, and SKS carbine. I assume they probably made it a little bit worse because the pistols pretty much don't have any recoil, and shotguns and SKS. SKS has been pretty good of late, so yeah, maybe they made that a little bit worse. Not sure about the shotguns. I assume if pistols and SKSs have been pretty much zero recoil, I would assume that they're probably making it so the shotguns have more recoil as well. Added contact shadows for the BTR and updated visual effect of the BTR machine gun fire. So you'll actually be able to see the actual BTR firing and how the shadow works around the BTR. Adjusted the random container spawn setting to reduce the chance of spawning an empty container. Sometimes you run up to like a weapon case, it's generally a weapon case, and you go to loot it. It's one of the ones that don't always spawn there, but sometimes they do. And you'll go to loot it and it'll be empty. So obviously if the container's empty, it's not even going to spawn it in the first place. Added the tenths of percentage display when viewing the total number of players who have completed an achievement. For example, people that have been to Lighthouse, it'll probably say something like 1% at the moment. Now it might say 0.6% or 0.7%. So that's what that means. Adjusted the sound positioning on Ground Zero and Streets of Tarkov. Obviously some tweaks to the sound for those maps. Now, for the big doozies, I hope this isn't going to be as bad as it seems, but in the near future, the in-game stash expansion and access to the practice co-op mode will become available for purchase in the profile page on the Escape From Tarkov website. So if you don't have Edge of Darkness right now, but you would like the Stage 4 stash upgrade, you will be able to buy that. So if you've got the Left Behind edition and that, you could upgrade to this level 4 stash without having to play the game at all, and you can pay money to upgrade just to the stash size of an Edge of Darkness stash. As well as that, at the moment, only people that have Edge of Darkness edition can enter enter the co-op mode inside Escape from Tarkov. So you'll be able to buy it if you're got a standard account and you want to go into practice co-op mode. You'll be able to pay to get in there. This is the first batch of microtransactions we've seen. Obviously, we've had upgrades in the past and stuff like that to better additions, but this is actually paying for specific things. For example, paid for arena, or pay for now practice co-op access, or pay for the stash upgrade. But it gets to a further level. Purchase of additional stash lines will become available regardless of game edition, which means potentially I could spend, and I don't know if there's going to be a limit, but I could spend $1,000, and if they're like $10 a line, I could buy myself, what's that, an extra 100 lines of stash. And I'm curious to see what the limit of this is, because technically on my main account, I could just buy an endless amount of stash rows. They didn't say an amount, but this could be kind of terrifying. But in saying that, I would be okay with this if the game was free to play. So for example, when I play Path of Exile, I've got about 1,000 hours in Path of Exile. You actually start with a pretty ordinary like stash, hideout, stash, loot area. I think it's called a stash in that game. And you buy stash tabs. So the game's free, but you kind of need the stash tabs to be able to fully experience the game. And then I wouldn't mind it as much. However, the fact that they're doing that in this game, I'm curious to see where they go with it, how much it's going to cost, and how ridiculous it's going to be. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that says in the near future. Purchasing access to the practice co-op mode will be available for all editions. For Edge of Darkness owners, the ability to play in practice co-op mode is available by default. So if you've got EOD, you're not going to lose access to the practice co-op mode. It's still available by default. I suppose I should put in my thoughts on that right here. Personally, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how much it's going to cost and what kind of outcry it's going to have. I haven't put a lot of time and thought into thinking about it because I never thought of it actually happening. In the past, I think I have said it would be cool to be able to buy extra stash space, but is it going to give much of an advantage? Probably not. But this is another way for BSG to make money to keep the game going. And it doesn't really give you the ability to win more fights, but it definitely could be handy early on in a wipe. Say, for example, I did buy an extra 30 rows or 40 rows, whatever it cost. And then at the start of a wipe, you like chuck all your stuff in there and you can sort it easier and loot it easier. I guess this is also a bit of a cop-out way. They need to really fix the whole stash system, being able to pin containers or just fix it up in general. I've been preaching for the longest time, a stash should be 12 wide, not 10 wide, because 12 is divided by 12, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1, whereas a 10 wide stash is only dividable by 10, 5, 2, and 1. So what I mean by that is containers don't fit evenly across the top. Like how many times are you going to go, you want to put a container in, one's a 4 wide, one's a 5 wide, and you're just like, this is annoying because now it's 9, but I only have a 10 wide, so I have to put like dog tag cases in there. It's just awkward. So 12 wide would fix a lot of those issues, but it won't happen because BSG like how the thirds of the screen are broken up. So that's my thoughts on it. I think people will complain a little bit about this, but overall, I don't think it's a completely negative thing to the game. I guess we'll have to wait and see. It does definitely put more of a gap between a standard account player and an EOD player or an account that has extra stash space earlier on in the wipe. So yeah, I guess we'll see. All right, over to the list of fixes. Numerous fixes and adjustments to the visuals and geometry of Ground Zero and Streets of Tarkov. Yep, made it so the visual and geometries, and I bet it's more about LOD, level of detail, how far you can see stuff without stuff glitching out and being able to see through walls and windows and all that kind of stuff. Fix the lack of camera shake when firing from stationary weapons. I feel like there's already plenty. I don't know why they want to add more. Fix the incorrect shifting of the aiming line on iron and hybrid sights at high FOV settings. There's been a lot of people saying that at max 5 you don't get to see the correct line of sight and sight picture, and I'm guessing this is part of that. There is another one. I've already pre-read some of these patch notes, and it says about how if left-handed aiming, it changes with the FOV. So I'm guessing there's fixes for that too. Fix the weapon getting stuck sideways when switching from one sight to another while aiming in the left shoulder stance. Okay, didn't know about that. Fix the distance of the sight when shooting on the left shoulder stance at FOV 75. There we go. So what was happening is people were ADSing with their aiming down their sight with their sight in the right-handed aim, and then they'd switch over to the left, and it would like zoom it right in, and you'd actually have like a full screen zoom, and people were taking advantage of that. I personally, people would ask me why I wouldn't do it, and it was more I just didn't want to get in the habit of doing it, because then when they take it away, like they have, I'm not relying on it. Fix the lack of camera sway when aiming in the left shoulder stance. Sure. Fix several bugs in the vaulting mechanics that cause getting pushed out, stuck, falling into geometry. Right, I hope this goes down the path that they fix the vaulting into places you shouldn't be able to vault. Fix the possibility of taking damage from snipers while inside the BTR. Okay. Fix the logic where the BTR would start firing at nearby players. I hope that means when you get out of a BTR, it won't just start shooting you, because I've had that happen before as well. Fix the ability to transfer restricted items to other players using the BTR. So I'm guessing if you put the items into the actual transfer thing and then when to send it off, but you don't, and then get the other person to come in, they could actually transfer or take the items away. That's interesting. Fix the error pop-up when trying to view a player's profile in certain cases. Sure. Fix the ability of Lightkeeper services for players who have not completed the starting quest or with insufficient reputation. There's an ability, or there is a way for you to get to the island of Lightkeeper in Lighthouse, and I'm guessing this is having people go to the actual Lightkeeper earlier on before they've actually got to the quest line to be able to use his services. Fix the inability to activate Lightkeeper's services immediately after unlocking them without restarting the game. Okay, so when you complete a quest, you unlock different stuff, and then you go to use him, but you can't because you have to restart the game first. Pretty common with when you complete a quest. Sometimes you complete a quest and you don't get the follow-up quest straight away. You have to either restart the game or go into a raid before it will pop up and actually show you that. Fix several incorrect player animations when using stationary weapons. Sure. Fix the hands getting frozen after using stationary weapons in certain cases. So this is a common bug. Usually it happens with meds. You go to use the meds after doing something, and then it'll just bug out and you'll either permanently be locked in a med animation or you'll just be locked being able to not shoot or anything after using your meds. So I'm guessing it's something along the lines of that. Fix the error when loading a double barrel shotgun with ammo from the secure container. Cool. Fix the reload through the context menu during magazine check that resulted in locking the magazine slot in the player's inventory. Cool. Fixed the narrowed display in thermal sights. Didn't know there was an issue. Fixed incorrect positioning of Magpul SL-K buttstock with some buffer tubes. Sure. Fixed the incorrect display of face shields for other players in certain cases. So I'm hoping that also goes down the path of fixing it so when you go into a raid with someone, sometimes it doesn't show them wearing armor at all, even though they are wearing armor, and you can shoot them and it'll still hit their armor, but it makes it look like they're not wearing armor. So I'm guessing that's the display of face shields for other players in certain cases. Fix the error after replacing an equipped helmet with the same helmet, but with a different flashlight installed. Righto. Fix the ability to quickly return from left to right lean if using smooth lean after using normal lean. So I saw a video of this. This is where people could, it was like they could snap to like a lean and out of lean. Like it's like super fast. That's what it means by fix the ability to quickly return from left to right lean. Fix the incorrect AI movement speed in certain cases. Okay. Fix incorrect cultist behavior after attacking with melee weapons. So I'm curious about this because there's an achievement that says you have to melee them. So with one of their own knives to get an achievement, and they have to die. So I'm curious to see how this goes. Fix the possibility of AI falling through the ground in certain cases. Cool. Fix the error after the post-raid therapist healing screen for players with elite charisma skill. I'm curious. One, who has elite charisma skill already? Because that's a crap load of playing. And two, what was the error after post-raid therapist healing screen? Fix the incorrect logic of unlocking a new quest after failing the previous quest. So there was sometimes when you fail a quest and you go to accept it again, it'll come up with an error. That's what that is. Fix the incorrect objective area for capturing outpost quest. I hope this means that the shoreline quest is gone back from docks, or sorry, the pier, back up to the resort. In the past, it was the pier area, then they moved it up to the resort, and now you have to go back to the pier area. So I hope that means that we're going to go back to the resort, because then capturing outposts is actually achievable. Fix the disappearance of a secure container from the inventory when interacting with equipment presets in certain cases. Yeah, the whole equipment preset stuff needs a lot of work. Fix the incorrect logic of inviting a player to lab raid if they don't have a keycard. Cool. Fix the incorrect display of fog in optics after using a thermal sight. I'm assuming this is the same thing as when you look through a sight, sometimes it doesn't show any fog at all. I'm guessing they also found that if you had a thermal sight and then went back to using a normal sight, it would remove the fog again. I'm guessing they fixed that. Fix the display of light from IR flashlights in optical sights. Nice. Fix the display of insurance and found in raid icons. Okay. Fix the blinking of certain achievement icons when presenting the collection date filter. All right, so that's in the achievement screen. I haven't seen that. Fix the text overlay on white background on the language selection screen. Cool. Fix the error when inverting the mouse on the x-axis. That's left to right. Okay. Who the hell plays with the inverted mouse left and right? Fix the infinite loading when trying to load into a finished raid after a reconnect. Okay, so that's if you get kicked out of a raid for whatever reason, you try and reconnect, and then the raid's already finished and you get stuck on infinite loading. They did fix the scav one if you got stuck on a waiting session start. That got fixed in the last patch. Fix the ability to open a locked door without a key using the breach option. Hang on, how did I not know about this, and which door was it? Adjusted the damage from fire and barbed wire. I wonder if that means it made it more or less. And fixed the possibility of generating a player scav with no equipment. So some people have been getting lucky enough that they scav has 0 gear on them at all, even at max scav rate. All right, so that is the completion of all the patch notes. The good stuff is, like, the BTR is now not going to kill you straight after, and they've done some rework of the armor stuff. I am a little bit disappointed. I did not see anything mentioning about fix the ability to vault into rooms or areas that you shouldn't be able to vault into. Let's just hope that that's a silent fix and they didn't put it in the patch notes. For example, the marked room on streets, or into a lot of the locked rooms on shoreline. People are not even buying the keys because you can just, it's like literally there's like a hairline gap between the door and the window, and you can just vault through that gap like a, I don't know, Gumby or something. So hopefully that's been just like a silent fix, not in the actual patch notes. I am very curious about, in the near future, the in-game stash expansion and access to the practice, blah, 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 and being able to purchase additional stash lines will be available regardless of game edition. Does that mean I'm going to be able to buy myself 100 lines? I don't know, but I guess time will tell. If they do add it to the game, I'm curious. Maybe I'll just buy 100 lines. Unless they make it really expensive, then maybe I won't. Anyway, as for this video, that is pretty much it. I tried to give you the most amount of information I could about all these patch notes and a little bit of my thoughts. Like I said, hopefully those issues are fixed, the ones I talked about, the vaulting, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see. I think this one's going to stir the bucket a little bit. I knew BSG were going to do something regarding making more money. I wasn't sure what, and I guess this is what they've decided on. So yeah, anyway, trying to put out lots of videos. I had a bit of time off last week after I finished the hardcore playthrough on my live stream. Those YouTube videos are still going out. Now I'm in guide frenzy mode. Also, there won't be any more snow. I believe from the Instagram photo, they showed the weather changing, and I don't believe there's going to be any snow after this patch. But yeah, I'm going to be back into guide making mode. I've already got the factory map guide. I'm going to redo all my map guides, and I'm going to be smashing them out as quickly as possible, and then getting into some of the juicier ones. I've got some really good loot stuff to show you. Anyway, but I need to get those new player ones up to date because they are years old. And for the newer players, I want you guys to be able to experience it. So go check out my new player playlist. And if you haven't checked out the hardcore series, it's been a lot of fun and people have been really enjoying it. So go check out my hardcore series where I force myself to play Escape From Tarkov without using a lot of the functions like traders and the container. Anyway, that's it for this one. Like and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already to help me get to the 1 million subs. We're powering through it. We got like 30,000 subs last month. Love to be able to get that again this month. Let's keep it happening. Much love. And lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.